Hello, Sevan here with All American Print Supply, and thank you so much for joining us for another fun-filled webinar. As you may have read from the title description, today we're going to be doing a direct-to-garment pre-treat solution head-to-head comparison. Before we get into the action, I want to make sure that you all head over to the YouTube channel, which is AA Print Supply Co. on youtube.com. Be sure to hit that red subscribe button and tap that post notification bell so you never miss any of our awesome print-related content. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you check out the new website. It's aaprintssupplyco.com, where right now you can register an account, log in, make your purchases as normal, and begin accruing points back good on every purchase. These points will accumulate over time, and you can use these on future items on the website, and this is all part of our new loyalty rewards program. It's our way to say thank you for supporting the brand and also give a little bit back good towards your next future equipment or supplies. At All American Print Supply, we don't really push one brand or equipment or pre-treat solution on our customer. We're thrilled to offer the best brands in the business. Today we're going to be doing a head-to-head competition between Image Armor Ultra, Firebird's version 2.5 and version 3, the Epson Pre-Treat solution, T-Treat, and EcoFree Pre-Tech. We're going to be judging these different pre-treat solutions off of white vibrancy, bright color vibrancy, stains or marks, hand feel, color consistency or white bubbling, and for the sake of consistency, we're going to be offering a controlled environment with all of our processes. We're going to be using our ring-spun cotton garments from Smart Blanks. I'm going to be drying everything with my Stahl's Hotronic 1620 Auto Open, and over here with our pre-treat equipment, we're going to be working with the brand new Mr. T2 from EcoFree. Great machine to evenly and efficiently apply your pre-treat for you in a very consistent manner. The printing option we're going with is the Epson F3070, and we're going to be running our Cathari NeoRip software. This program is a great way to really unlock the true potential of what these machines are capable of, as well as handling difficult or complex artwork such as gradients, transitions, glows, and fades. For more information on the printer, pre-treat equipment, pre-treat solutions, and the Cathari software, be sure to head over to the YouTube channel and check all those out, and drop some thumbs up if you enjoy any of our awesome content. We're also going to be using the same pre-treatment settings. So on the pre-treat machine over here, it's got a handy reference chart, which will give you recommended speeds, saturation levels for thin garments, medium to heavyweight tees, all the way up to hooded sweatshirts. It's a great way to stay organized and have all that information at the touch of your fingertips. We're going to be running this at a level 26, which is sort of right in between the medium and thick garment setting, and we're going to be drying everything here at about 350 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to show you step-by-step how we dry and print these garments so you can recreate the test at home and really see what's going to be the best option for you. You guys ready to get started? All right, so let's dive right into it. Over here on my left, my Mr. T2 from EcoFree is already loaded up with the Image Armor Ultra. This is one of the biggest brands in the industry and certainly a fan favorite for our customers here. This company is known for their color vibrancy, and we're going to go through right now and see how it prints. So from the beginning, first thing I'm going to always want to do is give my garment a quick pre-press. This is to remove any wrinkles or moisture that could be in the fabric, lay down my fibers, and give me a nice smooth surface for pre-treat and printing. Again, we have our Stahl's Hotronic 1620 Auto Open timed up to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and it really just needs a moment in there to smooth out the fabric. Now we're going over here to our Mr. T2 from EcoFree, which is available at aaprintssupplyco.com right now. We've got our settings, as we said, set to 26. Once again, that's going to be kind of right in between what the reference chart recommends for between a thin and heavy garment. And we're going to be using this as a control setting for all the different pre-treats we're testing today. We're going to go ahead and load this in. And I've also selected the round trip, so it gives me 2 passes of even pre-treat application. I'm tucking the excess fabric into the handy under drawer. We're going to send this back in and hit start. The Mr. T2 comes equipped with 2 individual nozzles that you can angularly adjust so you have perfect saturation amount on all of your sprays. Now, in some direct-to-garment shops, I have seen many cases they use a hard bristle brush to kind of smooth out and really give you an even application. I'm going to go ahead and send this to the dryer as is because that's how much I trust the machine, and hopefully we can get a great print. Now we got a good amount of pre-treat on here, so before I actually close the machine, what I'm going to do first is lower the garment with the heating element here very close to the wet t-shirt and begin to dry this a little bit naturally. What's happening here is without contact, Being so close to the 350 degree Fahrenheit heating element, we're beginning to dry the garment naturally without any contact. This is ideal when you do have a large amount of pre-treat on here so that we can prevent crystallization. What can happen is if I close down my machine too quickly, the pre-treat may have nowhere to go and bond onto itself. Now, these crystallized little discolorations should not really stay on the garment once washed, but with good drying techniques, we can avoid this entirely and have something retail ready out of the heat press. Again, we're not quite closing the machine just yet. We're performing what we call the hover step, or just lowering the heating element nice and close. And when we do close the machine down, I'm going to make sure that I protect my heating element from any sort of wet liquids such as pre-treat or ink using my reusable double-sided thick-coated sheet. These are also available at printsupplyco.com. Very reusable and a must-have supply item in any direct-to-garment print shop. Now I can see here that the water portion of the pre-treat is starting to evaporate. We're starting to dry that part of it already into the fabric. This is really going to give us the best result when we do close down the machine, and I think we're ready to start pressing this. Again, as I mentioned, we're going to lay down this protective sheet over the wet garment, 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm doing a very light pressure. Again, we're trying to have these preparation steps so that we don't get crystallization, no discoloration, and we get a nice foundation of pre-treat so that we can properly apply that white underbase. This should be just about ready here. Now what I'm going to do at the end of that 30-second timer, I'm going to let the machine open. I can see it's already starting to steam. By letting this kind of circulate out or breathe the vapor from the drying garment, again, we're going to be trying to take all the steps necessary to avoid any kind of discoloration and get a nice adhesion bond of the pre-treat. We're going to go ahead and close this down one more. And again, we're doing about 30 seconds, about a level 3 low pressure, and it's 350 degrees Fahrenheit. One of the great things about the Stahls brand is their award-winning customer support. They're the only company that offers 24/7, 365 days technical assistance. So you have issues late at night, first thing in the morning, New Year's Day, there's someone there to support you. And it's one of the many reasons we like to sell this brand, in addition to the lifetime warranty on that heating element. These things are commercial, industrial grade, and built to run all day, every day. Perfect. I see here we got a nice dry garment, no discoloration. It is a little warm, so you want to make sure that we're always exercising caution when we're removing anything out of our heat press that's over 300 degrees. Now, we're using our barcode automation system, which is an available add-on for the Cathari NeoRip software. If you're a production heavy workhouse or of any size operation really, you can perfectly streamline and efficientize your operation with barcode automation. For more information on that, be sure to check out the YouTube channel. And once again, that's Printsupplyco on YouTube.com. For our testing today, we're going to be running a color chart showing all the different shades, and that's going to be available in the Garment Creator software. If you're interested in having this file sent on over, be sure to drop that into the comment section on the webinar, and we'll be able to get that sent over to you no problem. Now, again, here we have our Epson F3070 direct-to-garment printer. I'm going to go ahead and thread the fabric onto the platen. Some people like to set it on top, but I feel I just have a little more control threading it, kind of like an ironing board. We're going to go ahead and get this loaded on here. Once I have my garment positioned for the print, I'm going to go ahead and secure this in place using the included hoop. I'm going to lock this in. Data is already received on the direct-to-garment printer from the Cathari NeoRip software barcode automation add-on. Got all my information right here confirmed. We're going to go ahead and send this to get started. After this prints, we'll get a nice cure. We're going to go over those steps as well, and then we'll see how this comes out and start running through the rest of the lineup. Stay tuned. All right, let's see how the print comes out with our color chart using the Image Armor Ultra Pre-Treat Solution formula. And it looks pretty good. I see nice, good color vibrancy, not really too much white speckling underneath. We're not done yet. We got to get this over to the heat press and dry this. So let's take a look at those settings that we're going to do here. Now we still have everything queued up to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm going to leave my timer set at 30 seconds. We're going to be doing a couple of them, and I'll show you in just a moment. Now, just like with the wet pre-treat, for best results, we highly encourage the hovering step. It's a water-based ink, so by lowering the 350 degree Fahrenheit heating element very close to the wet ink, what I'm starting to do is curing the water portion, drying that out so we can keep our vibrancy, keep the pigment, and this is going to be a very helpful step, especially if you're doing something, say, like a thick sweatshirt, which will have more ink on there. But again, we recommend this for every step of the way. It's going to really give us the brightest, boldest, and most vibrant print possible. That should be a decent hover so far. Now, when I do close the machine, once again, I'm using my trusty thick-sided double-coated sheet, also available at aaprintsupplyco.com, and we're gonna go ahead and close this right now. Now, with the amount of ink here and the quality level, which was a black light garment on our Neo Rip Cathari, which is approximately 1200 by 600 DPI, we're gonna be needing at least a minimum of 1 minute based for those quality and size settings. So again, we're gonna be breaking this up into 2 presses. I'm gonna lock this down right now, give it 30 seconds in the heat press. And the reason we're doing 2 presses, if we're leaving this in there for a minute straight, there could be moisture or humidity in there that actually circulates and kills some of that vibrancy. So by breaking this up into 2 presses, you'll see it start to steam or breathe out. Then I can close it back down, give it the other half minute of the cure, and then we're gonna have something that's not gonna go anywhere. With these settings, customers should be able to enjoy 50, 60 washes, no problem. First timer is just about wrapped up. You can see a little bit of steam. I don't know if it's catching that on camera, but we're just gonna close this right back down here. And again, we are using a low pressure. We don't need to really crush the bejesus out of these garments. It's mainly the amount of time, temperature, and having some degree of contact to really seal in that ink formula. The color chart is a great way to really see the performance of not only the printer, but our amount of pre-treat on here. So far, so good. We're gonna see how this holds up to the dry, and then we're gonna dive into the rest of the lineup and get these all printed up for you guys. See who the winner is. Almost time. Again, guys, you want to always be careful taking anything out of our heat press. We are working with temperatures above 300 degrees Fahrenheit, so very hot. And once more, the criteria we're going to be looking at here is going to be our hand feel, pre-treat staining or marks, bright color vibrancy, white color vibrancy, and any sort of white bubbling in the consistency of the print. This looks pretty good to me so far. We do have some more pre-treat solutions to go through, and we're going to check them all out here together. Let's keep it moving. Okay, moving right along here. Up next is one of our favorite pre-treat solution companies to work with. We're going to be testing out the newest product offering from Firebird Pre-Treat. They offer a range of options, and they also include light garment pre-treating, which is something to explore in a later video. But like I said, today we're going to be using their latest formula, which is Gen 3. We've gone ahead and already pre-treated the Smart Blanks garment using the same settings on our Mr. T2, which is a level 26 for those of you paying attention at home. We've gone ahead and already sent the design over to our Epson F3070. We're going to go ahead and run the same color chart, and we'll take a look and see how this one prints. Stay tuned. And there we have it. We got an awesome print using the Gen 3 Firebird formula pre-treat, and I'm pretty impressed with how this one came out. I don't really have much bubbling or any kind of white poking through. Got nice color vibrancy. We got to cure this up now to see how it compares to the rest. So we're going to take this back over to the stalls, and you guys know the drill. First thing I'm going to be doing is give this a nice hover. Again, just trying to start the drying process without any contact, trying to hold as much of that pigment as possible so we have a good measuring stick to compare against the other pre-treat solutions. Like we mentioned, on a t-shirt, we don't need to hover for a whole heck of a lot of time. We have less ink here than I say from the pre-treat we had saturated with. But again, helpful step to really keep the same bold, bright vibrancy. And now we should be ready to start drying this up. You already know what I'm doing here. I'm covering the wet ink using my thick double-coated sided sheet. We're gonna go ahead and lock this down. We're gonna be doing those same 2 30-second presses. Again, guys, this is a controlled environment across the board so we can kind of evenly compare all these different pre-treat options. Again, we try to have something to fit every need, business, and budget, and that's why we're proud to partner with some of the best brands in the business to bring you quality products and services. That should be just done over there, and then we're gonna get into the next option from Firebird, which is one of my personal favorites, Gen 2.5. It's a really popular option amongst the staff and customers here, and it's actually the pre-treat that I learned on, so we're gonna see how that matches up against all these other options. And there's no real wrong choice here, I would say. It's all about testing, and that's what we're here for today. Stay tuned, Gen 2.5 is coming up next. All right, as we said, up next is one of our favorites around here, like I said, for customers and staff alike. I'm talking about the Gen 2.5 from Firebird. When applied properly, this has never let me down, and we're gonna run a print right now to see how this matches up with the competition. We've already got the data received over here on the printer. We're gonna send that same color chart file, and if you are interested in running the same test at home, drop us an email or fill out the contact form in the Zoom chat. We'll get that file sent right over to you. It is also available in the Garment Creator software, but as we mentioned today, we're running our advanced Neo Rip by Cathari. We've got videos on the operation, installation, everything on our YouTube, which is AA Print Supply Co. on youtube.com. And if you got your direct-to-garment printer from us here, we can offer a free trial program where you can really test this out and see how it compares against your traditional rip. Like I mentioned, advanced or complicated graphics such as gradients, transitions, glows, fades, as well as ink savings estimated up to 40%. This is thanks to increased environments to really optimize our white ink coverage to suit whatever kind of color fabric we're working on. You guys see how fast this thing produces our garment prints? And that's thanks to the dual print head technology inside the Epson F3070. We got videos on that on the YouTube as well, but it's totally different seeing this in person, how fast in a single pass it's able to lay down not only our white underbase, but also the CMYK print. And oh man, I expected nothing less from Gen 2.5. Let's take a look here. This is a solid print. And again, guys, we're using the same settings for all the different pre-treat solutions, so we have a controlled environment for these. We're using level 26, which is right in between, I'd say, a thick or medium garment on the reference chart on my Mr. T2 from EcoFreen. And same thing here, guys, you know the drill. We're doing that hover step first so we can, again, start the drying process a little naturally. I'm gonna go ahead and finish carrying this up myself, and then we're ready to go to the rest of the contestants. Stay tuned, guys. All right, so up next is a must-try if you're in the market for a go-to pre-treatment solution. We're gonna be using the Epson branded Pre-Treat concentrate. This is meant to be diluted in a 1-to-1 ratio with distilled water, and then always shaken vigorously so you get a nice mixture. We've gone ahead and already added 1 part of the Pre-Treat concentrate, 1 part distilled water, gave it a good agitation, and again, guys, applied the same amount of Pre-Treat to this fabric as we did all of our other contestants. Once again, that's a level 26, which is kind of right in between a medium to thick weighted t-shirt fabric, and we're gonna see how this prints. It's a nice feature to be able to pair the Epson ink and printer with the Epson branded Pre-Treat solution, but this is a great choice no matter what direct-to-garment printer you may be running, and definitely worth checking out if you are in the market for a new go-to solution. The concentrate formula is sold as either a 5 or 1 gallon, so once you dilute it, you're gonna have a very high yield of Pre-Treat. Definitely worth checking out. Oh man, I'm already seeing this first level of color rows on this color chart here. This is coming out awesome. This printer is fast. And here we are. This is gonna be a hard contest to measure as far as a clear-cut winner. Everything I'm coming out with right now, I'm pretty happy with. We still gotta get this dried up. So you already know the settings, guys. We're doing 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're gonna be giving this 2 30-second presses after I give it a nice hover. You already know what the hover step's for. Just start drying this wet ink a little naturally without any contact. And we break up the 1-minute press into 2 to let that steam vapor breathe out so nothing's trapped inside the machine, circulating or causing any mistouch to my pigment here. We're gonna get this dried up and we're gonna keep moving along. We got a few more to go, guys, so stay tuned. Here we have T-Treat. This is a cost-effective solution to some of the brands we've looked at so far, and from those who use it, they love it. This is similar in performance to the Firebird Gen 2.5 we just looked at, and one of my high-volume accounts actually tried 1 liter of this as a tester, and they recently switched over their entire operation to this solution. Let's see how the T-Treat prints and compares up to the other contestants in today's direct-to-garment pre-treatment head-to-head. Gotta mention, guys, T-Treat is gonna be an all-American print supply exclusive. This is the only place you can get it, and I'm super excited with how this print came out. One of the higher performing prints that I've seen so far just out of the machine right away by taking a look. Show you guys here. We're gonna get this dried up and cured, and we're almost done. We got 1 more contestant, and then we'll see how all these match up and try and find a winner. Might not be a wrong answer here. Stay tuned. All right, now, last but certainly not least, from the makers of the Mr. T1 and T2, we have this EcoFreen pre-treatment liquid. This is sold as a concentrate, which must be diluted in a 1-to-2 ratio with distilled water. You always want to make sure that you shake that vigorously after you've mixed them, so you have a nice swirl there going on, and we apply it as it's recommended ratio-wise. This is a great company that offers a variety of different products and equipment for really all sorts of digital printing. Like today, we're going to be using the pre-treat solution. We've already gone ahead and pre-mixed this, and once again, that's a 1-to-2 ratio with concentrate to pre-treatment solution with distilled water. We're going to go ahead and send the last job, see how this prints, and then we're going to compare everything side by side and see how they match up together. We're almost done, guys. Can't wait to see who the winners are. All right, moment of truth. This is our final contestant, and I'm legitimately impressed with how this printed. I don't work with this one personally a whole lot. I kind of go more with the pour and play, but this seems like it might be worth the time of diluting at that recommended 1-to-2 pre-treat concentrate distilled water ratio, because this looks fantastic. It might be the strongest white print of the lot. We got to cure them all and see. We're going to take a look side by side how all the different solutions compare to each other, but this was a pleasant surprise. Nice vibrancy, no real bubbling going on. We're going to dry this up, guys, and like I said, we'll take a look at how all the different options compare. We're going to see how this turns out. Stay tuned. A lot of pre-treating and printing and drying and curing, but we're really glad that we're finally able to get this project off the ground. It's something we've been wanting to get going for a long time, and what better way than to share with our All-American Print Supply audience. While we were at the break, kind of brought in some of the other staff, marketing, my other technician, and kind of reviewed all the different prints in this blind setting. And the 5 criteria points that we're measuring the prints off of is going to be white color vibrancy, bright color vibrancy, pre-treat stains or marking, hand feel, and color consistency or white bubbling. Based off all of these, we did have some shines, I would say, as far as the performance here. I mean, looking at these quickly, I see they're all really great prints. I'd be happy with any of these. But in regards to the white vibrancy and even the color vibrancy, one of the first finalists I would say is my personal favorite here. It's going to be the Gen 2.5 from Firebird. This excelled in almost every area, I would say here. The bubbling is also to a minimum. I really have no fibers, none of that underbase peeking through. So that's going to be one of our finalists as far as one of the top performers. Moving along here, and this is going to be especially in regards to the staining, marks, hand feel, all really being retail ready or where they should be. The colors that came out awesome as well. The white vibrancy was super on point, and I'm talking about the Epson Pre-Treat Concentrate. Now again, this was diluted in a 1-to-1 ratio of distilled water and the Epson concentrate formula, and when applied at the settings we did, which was pretty uniform across the board, we ran a level 26 on the Mr. T2, and while that may have been a little more pre-treat than needed for some of these selections, we wanted to have a controlled setting so they can be evenly measured against each other. The Epson Pre-Treat Concentrate, when diluted 1-to-1, really shined, and it's probably because it's working well with the Epson ink, but as we mentioned, this is going to be good to go for any of your direct-to-garment printers. And then my other favorite over here, and this was a pretty general as far as the white vibrancy, color vibrancy, white bubbling, no real staining, hand feel came out nice to the touch, and this is going to be the All-American exclusive T-Treat. For those who've tried it, they love it. As I mentioned, this is going to be a similar performing product to the Gen 2.5. Again, I actually had a recent large account try one of these liters as kind of like a tester, and they've completely switched over their entire operation. But again, guys, looking at all the different options here, there's no real wrong choice. The best answer is going to be testing, running your conditions, your environment, and these are available in smaller sizes so you can see what's really going to be best for your situation. Here at All American, we don't really like to push one brand or equipment or product and try to give you options. We work with the best in the business. You should too. Once again, guys, I want to make sure everybody checks out the YouTube channel. It's going to be AA Print Supply Co. on YouTube.com. Hit the red subscribe button, tap that post notification bell so you'll always be the first to know about any of our awesome print-related content. Once again, over on the new website, that's AAPrintSupplyCo.com, where you can log in, register your account, and begin earning points back on every purchase thanks to our brand new customer loyalty rewards program. It's our way to say thank you and give back to help you with your business options and make sure you always have what you need available. Man, Like I said, no real wrong choices here. Every pre-treat option is going to have its strengths, and people are definitely loyal to all of these. We sell these every day. So again, guys, test, test, test. We're going to throw it over to a brief PowerPoint presentation in just a moment, but from all of us here at All American Print Supply, my name is Esteban. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you on the next webinar. Hello everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today for our direct-to-garment pre-treat head-to-head showdown. I hope you enjoyed the presentation and took away some useful information you can apply to your own operation. But if you do have any questions on any of the products, processes, equipment, or supply items used, please be sure to fill out the contact form in the Zoom chat. We're going to be going over a brief recap over some of the criteria and equipment options that we used in our tests, and also go over the finalists we felt had the best results. We're going to go ahead and get started, and thank you guys so much. For today's pre-treat testing, we were judging off of 5 different criteria points. The first was white color vibrancy. We were looking for how bold and opaque the white was and how it laid down and covered the color of the fabric underneath. We also went off of bright color vibrancy and how bold and vibrant the colors in the color chart were printed. The next category was stains or marks. We were looking to see what sort of discoloration the pre-treat left on the actual garment once pre-treated, dried, printed, and cured. Next up was hand feel. We wanted to see how soft the actual garment was once pre-treated, dried, and cured, and if there was any sort of starchiness or stiffness to the garment. The last criteria point was color consistency or white bubbling. We were looking to see how the CMYK bonded over the white underbase, and if the pre-treat had a solid enough foundation where we were not seeing any sort of speckling or fibers, and we were getting a nice rich color. All right, let's take a look at what was used for our pre-treat comparison testing today. All the images were printed on our 100% ring-spun cotton garments from Smart Blanks. Ring-spun cotton is going to be the preferred medium for direct-to-garment, as the fibers are very tightly woven, lay very flat for a nice smooth printing service. Smart Blanks is a great brand to work with, and we're proud to offer them to our customer base at aaprintsupplyco.com. Also, if you purchase your printer from us, you receive a 20% discount good on all of our blank garments on the site. For our heat press, we are using our trusty Stahl's Hottronic 16x20 auto open. Great machine, very consistent, high quality, and industrial grade. It's meant to be operated all day, every day, and they have a lifetime warranty on their heating element. Can't say enough good things about this brand. Next, we were using our Cathari NeoRip software for the Epson F3070. As mentioned, this is the true way to unlock what these machines are capable of, and at the same time help reduce our ink costs, an estimated up to 40%. That's a lot. And for our DTG printer, as I said, we were running our Epson F3070. This is the latest and greatest in direct-to-garment printing, offers a brand new bulk ink system, dual print head technology. You guys saw how fast this thing prints. If you are a high-volume operation, this is a must-consider for your workflow. All right, let's take a look at some of these finalists from today's pre-treat head-to-head comparison. First up is the Firebird Gtx Optimize, also known as Gen 2.5. Very consistent, my personal go-to, and always gives me great vibrancy with all of my colors. Up next, and this was no surprise here, the Epson Pre-Treat Concentrate Solution Formula. When properly diluted, this excels in not only avoiding any kind of pre-treat stains or marks, but also delivering excellent color consistency and hand feel. This is a must-try for any direct-to-garment printing setup, and because it's a concentrate, you're going to be able to enjoy a high yield once diluted in the recommended 1-to-1 ratio of concentrate and distilled water. And our last finalist is going to be the All American Print Supply exclusive T-Treat Pre-Treat formula. This is a favorite here for our technician staff and very consistent across all areas of our testing criteria. A cost-effective solution compared to other brands on the market. I've often compared this brand to the performance of the Gen 2.5, which was another finalist in today's. It is available by the liter if you wanted to go ahead and give this a test. And if you do have any questions on any of these finalists or the other contestants in this comparison, be sure to fill out the contact form for the chance to connect with the representative to learn more. All right, everyone, that's just going to about wrap it up for today. Please note, all of our testing was conducted on black garments, 100% ring spun, and results may vary depending on color or fabric composition. For more information on any of the products, processes, or equipment pieces used in today's head-to-head comparison, be sure to fill out the contact form in the Zoom chat link to connect with the representative and learn more. I want to thank you guys all again so much for taking the time to join us. This was a super fun project we've been wanting to share with you guys for such a long time, and I hope it was informative information you guys can take with you. My name is Esteban. We are All American Print Supply, and we'll see you on the next webinar.